Toni Morrison's Beloved, an overview of plot, themes, and literary significance. Introduction. Beloved is a novel set in 1873 Cincinnati, Ohio, following the lives of Sethe, a formerly enslaved woman, and her daughter Denver. The story explores the lasting trauma of slavery through a narrative that blends realistic and supernatural elements. Summary. The story primarily focuses on Sethe, a former slave who escaped from a Kentucky plantation called Sweet Home to Ohio, a free state. The novel is inspired by the true story of Margaret Garner, an enslaved woman who killed her own child rather than allow her to be returned to slavery. The narrative begins in 1873, 18 years after Sethe's escape, at 124 Bluestone Road in Cincinnati, Ohio. Sethe lives there with her 18-year-old daughter Denver. The house is haunted by the angry ghost of Sethe's dead baby daughter, whose tombstone is engraved with only one word: beloved. The story unfolds through a series of non-linear flashbacks, gradually revealing the traumatic events of Sethe's past. We learn that when Sethe was escaping from Sweet Home, she was pregnant with Denver and had sent her other children ahead. When she finally reached Ohio, she gave birth to Denver with the help of a white girl named Amy Denver. However, just 28 days after her arrival, Sethe's former owner, known as schoolteacher, found her. In a desperate attempt to save her children from slavery, Sethe tried to kill them all, succeeding only in killing her 2-year-old daughter by cutting her throat with a handsaw. The novel's present-day narrative is set in motion by the arrival of Paul D., another former slave from Sweet Home. His presence temporarily drives away the baby ghost, and he becomes romantically involved with Sethe. However, their newfound peace is disrupted by the mysterious appearance of a young woman who calls herself Beloved. Beloved, who seems to be around 20 years old, has no apparent past and is characterized by her childlike behavior and insatiable hunger. Sethe, Denver, and Paul D. take her in, but her presence creates tension in the household. As the story progresses, it becomes increasingly clear that Beloved is the embodiment of Sethe's dead daughter, returned in the flesh. Sethe becomes obsessed with Beloved, trying to explain and atone for her past actions. This obsession begins to destroy her, as she neglects her own needs and those of Denver to cater to Beloved's increasingly demanding and destructive behavior. Paul D., disturbed by the strange events in the house and after learning about Sethe's infanticide, leaves. Denver, who has been isolated for most of her life, is forced to venture out into the community to seek help as Sethe's situation worsens. This marks a turning point for Denver, as she begins to form connections with the outside world and gain independence. The climax of the novel occurs when the local black community, rallied by Denver, comes to exorcise Beloved from 124 Bluestone Road. In the chaos of this event, Sethe mistakes her former employer, Mr. Bodwin, for a schoolteacher coming to retake her children. She attempts to attack him but is stopped by Denver and the other women. In the aftermath of this incident, Beloved disappears. The novel ends with Paul D. returning to Sethe, who is devastated by Beloved's departure. He comforts her, telling her that she is her own best thing, and encouraging her to value herself after years of trauma and guilt. Throughout the novel, Morrison explores themes of the lasting trauma of slavery, the complexity of mother-daughter relationships, the importance of community, and the struggle to reconcile with a painful past. The narrative style is complex, blending realistic depictions with supernatural elements and shifting between different characters' perspectives and timeframes. Beloved is not just a story about slavery, but a profound examination of how historical trauma affects individuals and communities across generations. It challenges readers to confront the horrors of slavery and its lingering effects, while also exploring the resilience of the human spirit and the power of love and community in healing deep wounds. Themes. 1. The legacy of slavery. This is the overarching theme of the novel. Morrison explores how the trauma of slavery continues to affect individuals and communities long after emancipation. The characters struggle with physical and psychological scars from their experiences. 2. Motherhood and family. The novel examines the complexities of maternal love under the brutal conditions of slavery. Sethe's decision to kill her daughter rather than allow her to be enslaved is a central conflict that explores the extremes of maternal protection. 3. Memory and the past. Characters in Beloved are haunted by their memories. The novel shows how suppressing traumatic memories can be damaging, but confronting them can be equally painful. 4. Community and isolation. The story explores the tension between the need for community support and the isolation that trauma can create. Sethe's ostracism from the community and her eventual reintegration are key plot points. 5. Identity and self-worth. Many characters struggle with their sense of self after being treated as property. The novel examines how they rebuild their identities in freedom. 6. Love and its complexities. Various forms of love, maternal, romantic, familial, are explored, showing both their healing power and potential for destruction. Metaphors. 1. The Haunted House, 124 Bluestone Road. The house represents the lingering effects of trauma. Just as the house is haunted by Beloved's ghost, the characters are haunted by their past. 2. Beloved. As a character, Beloved symbolizes the past that refuses to be forgotten. She embodies both the personal trauma of Sethe's infanticide and the collective trauma of slavery. 3. Sethe's tree scar. The scar on Sethe's back, described as a chokecherry tree, represents the physical and emotional scars left by slavery. 4. Paul D's rusted tobacco tin. Paul D imagines his heart as a rusted tobacco tin, symbolizing how he has locked away his emotions to survive. 5. The color red. Red appears frequently in the novel, often associated with pain, death, and emotional intensity. It symbolizes both the violence of the past and the vitality of life. 6. Milk. Milk is a recurring motif, symbolizing motherhood and nurturing. The theft of Sethe's milk by the schoolteacher's nephews represents the way slavery perverted even the most basic human relationships. Genre. Beloved is often classified as magical realism, blending historical fiction with supernatural elements. It's also considered a key work of African American literature and postmodern fiction. Conclusion. The novel concludes with the community coming together to exorcise Beloved, symbolizing the power of collective healing. Sethe is left to confront her past and find a way forward, while Denver gains independence and hope for the future. The story ultimately emphasizes the importance of confronting painful histories and the possibility of redemption through community and self-acceptance. Thank you for watching.